You can go to the Grand Ole Opry, take a stroll down Music Road.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. This is Richard Trest at TSAI in our TSAI workshops. And we're going to be talking to Tim Thurber again, who was here earlier. And what we wanted to talk about a little bit here is that, you know, the etiquette around those people. If you're a songwriter and have, you know, this dream of getting some major star to record one of your songs, how do I get that song to a star? Oh, I'm going to give it to his bus driver. That never happened to you?
Constantly.
Constantly?
Yeah.
You can't take them, can you?
No, well, I mean, I can take any song that somebody wants to give to me, and I can do whatever I want with it, but I will not introduce it to the artist at all. No, I mean, that's a big no-no. That's a good way to get fired.
Yeah. When you're on a bus, you wouldn't even play it on a bus, or they have.
If I liked the song, I would.
Oh, okay.
You know, if I was listening to it and just played it on. I mean, I would play it on the bus. I've got a couple friends of mine that I've listened to their songs on the bus, and every once in a while, you know, somebody will come up front of the bus and have a cigarette or drink a beer or whatnot, and they'll ask me who's playing on the radio, and then at that point I'll tell them, oh, it's this guy here, and where it goes from there is wherever it goes.
You just set every bus driver up for a barrage, you know that.
yeah, sorry guys.
I think you ought to probably know the bus driver, or, you know, at least, you know, just walk around sticking your CD or cassettes or, you know, floppy disk, whatever you got, you know.
Floppy disk.
You're old enough to know what a floppy disk is.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, like, you know, I have a lot of questions about how songs get to them. I mean, do they have listening sessions when on the road to stuff? Or
Yeah, actually, there's one artist that brings out his writers with him.
Okay. That's a lot. That's the other dream of every songwriter in Nashville.
No, he does. He brings out. There's actually a couple of them that bring out their writers, and one of them's got an actual studio on his bus.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll be driving down the road, and they'll be back there writing songs and just, you know, listening to other people's songs, and so it's a neat thing to be able to be a part of that process. I mean, you know, just open up the door and you can hear what they're doing.
Yeah.
Of course, at shows and venues, I mean, we get hit all the time. As soon as the show's over, we get people coming up to the stage and talking to all the techs and being like, hey, get this to this person and do this and do that for me, you know, and of course we can't, because that's not what we do.
Keep your hands in your pockets, right?
That's it. Keep our hands in our pockets. Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, I think nowadays it's mainly done through the publishing, isn't it? The publishing company?
Yeah, but, you know, the other side of it is I write with a lot of independent artists, you know, and the thing is that you hope they'll make it on one of their CDs. You know, and that's how you get your cut. You're right with the artist, you know, and like you said, they're on a bus, et cetera, et cetera. And around Nashville, that's one of the things that TSAI tries to do. We introduce new artists to our writing community here, and usually there's some bridges made there. And so they end up with a co-write with this young artist who might be, you know, hustling their song.
Yeah, I get asked a lot of questions on how people get their songs to be heard by certain artists, and my answer is always this: I really don't know. I mean, my job is to do X, Y, Z, and that is the only thing that I will do. You know, I don't want to ever ask anything out of anybody except for a paycheck.
Right, and you don't want to lose your job, so, you know, that's pretty much the rules, I think, in all genres of music. You know, if you know somebody that's in the inner circle of the artist, you might say, hey, listen to these songs, if you think any of them are good, you know, see if you can, you know, play them for whoever that is. But in general, just miscellaneous, going up to some tech somewhere and throwing CDs at them, that's a no-no.
Yeah. Techs don't get involved with the artist or that side of the business. Our job is just to make sure the show runs smoothly and everybody's safe, and you know, and the artist is happy. And
it's a good career. I mean, it's a lot of road time, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And Tim used to teach CDL, teach for licenses. So if you ever want to learn, he followed me over here, and he knows I need training.
It wasn't your fault. It was the people around you. But yeah, I taught guys how to get their CDL licenses, and I did. You know, tour bus. I help people in the tour bus industry as far as, like, you know, client driver relationships and things like that, and how to keep the bus smooth, you know, so people can sleep. And you know, I mean, I'm still pretty new to the game, and I still got a lot to learn myself. But you know, what little I do know, I always try to pass it on to people that I think will listen and you know, respect it.
So there's all kind of ways to be involved in the country music industry supportively, but it's not overnight stuff.
Well, no, I mean
the big deal can come overnight.
Yeah.
But you got to work your way up to be ready for that big deal.
Oh, absolutely, and a lot of it's how to handle the people that you're working for.
Yeah.
You know, knowing that, I mean, a lot of people get starstruck, and they, you know, I mean, and just don't act right or say the right thing, and they try to, you know, further their own career through that, and that's not the proper way to do it. I've always found that people that are just working their butts off and trying to make something better for themselves, and people just take notice to it.
Yeah.
And that's what gets you in the door, I think. And I mean, I think that's
play nice, know what you're doing,
yeah,
and stick with it.
that's it.
Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome, buddy.
You will hear some faded cowboys used to ride the old radio, and you will see some shooting starlets wonder why they shine so bright. I tell you, son, it ain't no secret. Songwriters helping writers down at TSAI.